All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the essential framework of a Muslim's life. We're talking about the core responsibilities that tie deep personal belief to real, everyday actions. So we're going to tackle one big question. What are the core religious responsibilities of a Muslim? And this is huge because the answer really gets to the heart of the faith and shapes, well, pretty much everything, from someone's innermost thoughts to their daily habits.
In Islam, you can think about these responsibilities in two main buckets. On one side, you have the principles of faith, or Usul al-Din. This is all about what a Muslim must believe. And on the other, you have the practices of faith, Furu al-Din, which is what a Muslim must do. It's a journey that starts in the heart and moves out into the world.
So, first things first, let's talk about that foundation, the core beliefs. You can think of these as the pillars that hold up the entire building of faith. Everything else rests on them. And the number one most important principle is called Tawheed. This is the absolute central belief in the oneness of God. The idea that there's only one creator and no one and nothing is equal to him. But here's where it gets really powerful. When you truly believe that all help, all power, all good comes from that single source, it gives you this incredible inner freedom. Suddenly, you're not so dependent on what other people think or what happens in the world. You turn to one place and one place only. And that logically leads to the next principle, justice, or adl. This is the rock-solid belief that God is perfectly, absolutely just, that he never, ever acts with cruelty or unfairness. And this belief is a massive source of hope. I mean, let's be honest. Life can feel deeply unfair sometimes, right? But the belief in divine justice means that, in the end, a perfect balance will be struck. Justice will be done, whether we see it here or in the hereafter. Next up is prophethood, or nubuwah. So the thinking here is that our own minds are incredible, but they have limits. We can't figure out everything on our own. So prophets are sent as guides, kind of like lights in the darkness to show us the way. And for Muslims, Prophet Muhammad is the final messenger who brought a teaching that's complete and meant for all time. And this brings us to the afterlife, or ma'ad. It's the belief that we will live again after death and will be accountable for how we lived our lives. Now, this isn't meant to be scary. It's actually a huge motivator. If you know that every action has a consequence, it pushes you to be more responsible, more compassionate, to always keep growing. Now, it's also worth mentioning that some branches of Islam, particularly Shia Islam, have another core belief called imamate. This is the belief in divinely appointed leaders to guide the community after the prophet. For this explainer, we're really honing in on the core beliefs shared across the board. Okay, so we've got the beliefs. That's our foundation. But how do you actually live them out? This is where we get to the daily practices. This is where faith stops being just an idea and becomes a living, breathing part of your day. The most well-known practice is probably Salah, the 5 daily prayers. If you're just starting out, it really boils down to 2 things. First, learning the ritual washing, which is called wudu, and second, learning the actual words and movements of the prayer itself. And you know, what might seem like just a routine at first has a way of becoming a kind of anchor. It creates this rhythm in your day that can bring a real sense of peace and focus. Then there's Sawm, or fasting, which is most famous during the month of Ramadan. It means no food or drink from sunrise to sunset. But it's about so much more than just being hungry. It's an annual training in self-discipline, and it's a powerful way to build genuine empathy for those who live with hunger every day. And of course, there are always exceptions for people who are sick or traveling. The faith also has these built-in financial practices for creating a better society. Zakat is a set percentage of your wealth that you give each year to those in need. It's all about compassion and social justice. Then you have khums, which is a 1/5 share of your annual surplus, the money left over after your needs are met. This often goes to things like schools and community projects. And then there is the Hajj. This is the once-in-a-lifetime pilgrimage to Mecca that you undertake if you're physically and financially able. And it is just an incredible sight. Millions of people from every country you can imagine, all wearing the same simple white garments.
It's a living, breathing symbol of unity, humility, and total equality.
Now, the idea of defending the faith can be really misunderstood. In its real day-to-day context, it's not about physical conflict. It's about preserving the values of Islam through your character, by living an ethical life, by sharing what you know respectfully, and by having the courage to stand for justice.
This leads to two sides of the same coin. First, there's tawala, which means to align yourself with good, to admire and follow good people, because as they say, we become like those we admire. The flip side is tabra, which means you consciously distance yourself from evil, from injustice, from corruption. It shows that faith isn't passive, it's about actively taking a stand.
And finally, there's a shared community responsibility to encourage what is good and discourage what is harmful. Now, this isn't about policing other people. It's a principle of social care, to look out for each other, but to do it with wisdom, with kindness, and most of all, by setting a good example yourself. So when you pull all of these pieces together, the beliefs and the practices, what do you have? You have way more than just a list of rules. You've got a complete framework for a meaningful life. The principles of faith, oneness, justice, prophethood, the afterlife, they're what light up the path inside your heart and your mind. They give you the fundamental why. And then the practices, prayer, fasting, charity, they are how you bring those beliefs to life. They make it all real and tangible, right here in the world, every single day. Which really just leaves us with one final question to think about. When you see it all laid out like this, is faith just a set of rules you have to follow? Or is it something much bigger, a complete framework designed to help you build a more compassionate, just, and truly meaningful life? That's something worth reflecting on.